What's your name and city of residence?
Tara Fredericks. I'm from Acton. I was an elected official in Acton at the time when we pushed back on the Patriot Act, which was the first step towards the NDAA. We were one of 172 towns in Massachusetts that pushed back on the federal government and said, you know, we urge you to rescind the Patriot Act. So now the NDAA has gone further, but towns around the country are pushing back on the federal government by enacting local rights-based ordinances, from everything saying that corporations aren't people to pushing back on NDAA. Today, I think Albany passed theirs, and Oxford, Massachusetts has too. So we urge you to take a stand against the federal government, or not against the federal government, but to push back and say that we do not agree with certain things that you're doing or you're saying. That's what state sovereignty is about. That's what municipalities have the right to do. And it's proven in over 150 towns and cities across the United States that have enacted local rights-based ordinances. And I'm here to speak in favor of the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
All right, thank you, everybody. My name is Patrick Hamilton, and I live in Lowell, Massachusetts. And I would just like to reiterate what everyone else said, that the 2012 NDAA states that anyone, including a U.S. citizen, can be detained indefinitely and without the right to public trial. So I'm sure, like many of you, I highly value our right to due process, and I consider our civil liberties to be our most important rights as Americans. I believe they're what define us as a free nation and separate us from dictatorships across the world and throughout history. And under the 2012 NDAA, it would be perfectly legal for me to walk out of this building, be arrested, and transferred to Guantanamo Bay, and there's absolutely nothing I could do about it. And I believe that everyone should have our day in court. And Worcester, Massachusetts is not a battlefield, and the laws of war should not apply. I believe that Worcester, Massachusetts is an important city in a free society. Has a chance to prove this tonight by passing this resolution and taking a stand against the 2012 NDAA and become a role model for liberty. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Councilmen and women, good evening. My name is Benjamin Selecki. I am a resident of Salem, Massachusetts. And I'm here tonight, and really this issue boils down, you have to ask yourself a couple of fundamental questions. Do you believe that in America, someone is innocent until proven guilty? Do you believe that the Constitution and the Bill of Rights protects our right to a trial by a jury? And do you believe that a person can be held without charge or trial via the arbitrary discretion and based on an accusation or a suspicion of some sort of loose affiliation with, quote, terrorism? Some of the objections to passing this resolution might say we need this to fight terrorism. We need this to catch the bad guys. Who defines terrorist? When does this war on terrorism end? The government has redefined who can be considered a terrorist. One could paint a picture of domestic people that they say they don't deserve a right to a trial. The Oklahoma City bomber, Jeffrey Dahmer, they're terrible people. No matter how heinous the crime an American is accused of committing, we get our chance to defend ourselves in court. We are still innocent until proven guilty. We are getting wide support from both sides of the spectrum on this issue. Everybody from our federal representative, Jim McGovern, all the way to Rand Paul and the ACLU and the Tea Party. Far left, far right, they're all coming together to fight this. Occupy and the Tea Party standing together to fight this issue. That should tell everybody just how dangerous this is. They're willing to put aside whatever issues they might disagree with and come together to fight this. I have two small children, 9 and 6. This isn't the country I want to leave for them, where it is now legally acceptable for the federal government to kidnap its own citizens and determine who and when the Constitution will apply. They don't get to make that decision. I urge the council, I urge the city of Worcester to stand up and stand with many, many other cities and towns across this country, including state level as well. Look to California. We need to stand shoulder to shoulder. All positive change starts from the bottom up. We, the people in the towns, need to stand together, make our voices heard to the states stand together, make our voices heard to the federal government.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Kevin Kazan, 5 Shaman Street. I was really happy to be here last week, and we had the proclamation recognizing the call for more soccer fields in Worcester, and